Home prices in the United States have hit a new all-time high. Despite warnings of a housing market crash over the past 4 years, the reality seems different. As of April 2024, the median sale price of a home was $433,558. It marked a 6.2% increase from 12 months ago, which is a record high. If you look at the month-over-month chart, you'll see that home prices have risen by $13,261 since the previous month. So why do prices keep climbing? It all comes down to supply and demand. Right now, demand is way more than the supply, which is pushing prices up. If you're skeptical about the impact of supply and demand, let's think about this familiar scenario. During the disastrous COVID-19 pandemic, we saw that the demand for hand sanitizer and face masks soared, but there wasn't enough supply. This major imbalance causes prices to skyrocket. It's a clear example of basic economics in action, something you've likely seen happen before. Now let's discuss the falling demand in the housing market. You're likely aware that homes are incredibly unaffordable at the moment, with prices at record highs and mortgage interest rates at 7%. Under these conditions, fewer people can afford to buy homes, leading to fewer buyers and reduced demand. So why aren't prices dropping? While it's true there are fewer buyers, there are also fewer sellers. Both demand and supply have decreased, yet there's still more demand than supply, which keeps pushing prices up. Currently, there are about 1.63 million homes listed for sale, which is a 12.1% increase from 12 months ago. However, this number is still much lower than the pre-pandemic figure, which was well over 2 million. Although the situation has improved recently, it's still far from the level seen before. If a housing market crash is what you're anticipating, then an increase in sellers is necessary. But this is not happening, and in order to increase the number of sellers, two things can be done. The first is encouraging more homeowners to sell, and the second is forcing sales through measures like foreclosures. Let's take a closer look at the first option, which is getting more people to want to sell their homes, which currently isn't happening. It's understandable that many homeowners don't want to sell right now. Think about it. If you have a mortgage interest rate of 3% or even lower, why would you give that up? This is especially relevant in today's market conditions, which include low inventory, inflated prices, and high mortgage rates around 7%. In such an environment, it's not appealing for homeowners to sell and then purchase another home. This reluctance to sell unless absolutely necessary is a key reason why the supply of homes remains so low. Now, let's take a look at the second option, foreclosures. Foreclosures play a critical role in the supply aspect of the housing market. As we mentioned before, there are currently 1.63 million homes listed for sale. To put this in perspective, consider that in 2010, which was a year marked by a foreclosure crisis, there were 2.9 million foreclosures. If such a volume of homes were to enter the market today due to foreclosures, it would significantly increase supply and potentially drive down home prices. However, this influx of foreclosed homes is not happening at the moment. Looking at the data, the number of foreclosures each quarter over the past 21 years is nowhere near the levels seen during 2008, 2009, or 2010, nor does it approach the figures leading up to the housing market. This indicates a much more stable housing market in terms of foreclosure rates. Let's be straightforward. If you're hoping for a housing market crash to result in more affordable housing, it's likely you'll be disappointed this year. There's a lot of speculation that a crash is imminent, with predictions that it's right around the corner. Yet what does right around the corner mean? In 2028, 2029, people have been suggesting a crash is near since 2020, but the current data does not support this claim. For those of us who desire widespread affordable housing, we're with you. We wish for all Americans to have access to affordable homes. However, based on the current trends and historical data, expecting a significant market crash in the near future may not be realistic. Let's look at this 5-year chart showing the percentage of homes selling above list price. Currently, about 1 out of every 3 homes sells above the asking price. This rate is high, but still within what might be considered a normal range, though it's considerably lower than the peak seen in 2021 and 2022. This suggests that although it's a common occurrence, the market is somewhat less fevered than in recent years. Now, looking at the mortgage interest rates over the same period, it's clear that the days of rates below 3% are behind us. Rates have returned to around the 7% mark for a 30-year fixed mortgage. These rates are expected to fluctuate, but without action from the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates, they're likely to remain between 6.5% and 8%. The next Federal Reserve meeting is scheduled for June the 12th. The likelihood of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates at this meeting is low, given that enough progress has been made on reducing inflation to a level that would justify such cuts. Current expectations are that there might be up to 3 rate cuts this year, but many analysts consider this overly optimistic. Everyone is predicting something different. Some are expecting 2 cuts, some think 1, and some even suggest no cuts at all this year. There are discussions among analysts that the Federal Reserve might actually raise interest rates rather than cut them. This shift in monetary policy is expected to be clarified during their next meeting on June the 12th, where they are scheduled to update their economic projections.